guys, IRStraves here, and today I'm going to be doing the What's on My Jailbroken iPod video. So, this setup was from another YouTube video, but I decided to use it because it looks really nice. Now, this is a 4-inch screen, by the way, just so you know, but let's actually get into this. So, the first part of this that you're seeing is probably the dock. The dock is betterFiveIconDock, which allows me to have 5 icons in my dock, as you can see. So I use this just for cert time, which is another tweak that shows you how much time you have left on your Yalu. And I actually broke my jailbreak a while ago, because some guy told me to sign Yalu with Filza, but I'm not talking about that, so I fixed it, blah blah blah, forget it. Next up, you can see I have Docker, which I also use for some of my extra apps right here. So basically, this is just all my other apps. My graphics editing app, Eraser, Bullet Force, my screen recorder, and QCut Pro. So yeah. And next up, you're probably realizing the theme mostly, which is Lotus. And it's a great theme. It's very not very customizable, but it's somewhat customizable, as you can see. Now, here's all my themes if you want to use any of them. Splendore, Lotus, and RingMasker. Pretty nice themes. But, you're also realizing Boxy 3, of course. Now, this is the configuration for it. So if you're on a 4-inch screen, you can use this to have this configuration right here. And it just looks really nice, to be honest. And next up is iWidgets, of course, which I'm using for all my widgets and stuff. And to get these widgets that I'm using right now, you have to get the free iWidget apps. And you can go into here, and you can go through the sort by likes and sort by date and stuff. And this is just where I got the main one right there. And there's just a nice amount of options in there for you guys to use. And next up, you're realizing I have Zeppelin, which is very customizable. And when I say very, I mean like very customizable. So let's scroll down and go into Zeppelin. As you see, I'm using the Dark Knight one at the moment. I also have some custom ones in here, which I can no longer make custom ones without getting a new app later on. But yeah, that's what I have for Zeppelin. And then you're also realizing the battery one, which that one is called Lithium Ion, which is 100% customizable. You don't need to respring or anything. It just automatically makes those changes, which is really nice and whatnot. But I use the Ion Heart to get smaller version, which is probably what some people would rather use just to like fit in with their status bar and whatnot. But yeah. So next up, let's go to like most of my other tweaks. So in here we have CyDown, and yes, I do pirate my tweaks because I'm too cheap for that. But CyDown allows you to pirate your tweaks, and I'll also have like all my repos and tweaks in the description just so you guys can get through this easier. So next up, we have Anemone, which I just showed you. So next is Filza, which I use to manage most of my stuff. As you see, I have actually Terraria right here, if I'm correct, for modding my worlds and stuff. But here's like all my applications. But in here's like where everything is now. There's the Yalu file, and yeah, but let's not talk about that. Then we have MTerminal, which I use to run UI cache on most of my things if I sign an app using Filza, just because it's way easier than risking going in beta 1 of AppSync. Then we have iCleaner Pro, which I'll also show a tutorial on how to clear tons of space just with this. That way you can have more room for tweaks. But I use this to mostly clean my device and whatnot. That way I can just have more space, obviously. Oops, wrong thing. So next up we have CrashReporter, which is very, very useful. that way if something of yours crashes, you have the information on it. Now, whenever my springboard crashes, it's only from PowerTap, but that's because I usually have to respring or boot up in save mode. And that's just about those ones. So let's get into settings where we can actually go through more of these. And oops, so hate that thing so much. So let's go down to cylinder, which is where I actually use most of my effects. Now, I used to use vortex, but it's kind of it's not my favorite when using these, just because it like raises in the middle, and I don't want it to raise in the middle. I just kind of want it stay in place more. But I use snake, which is really nice for this setup, in all honesty, and whatnot. But really nice. Next up, I use LocaliAPStore for getting my free in-app purchases. That way I can just make my like friends jealous and stuff. So let's say going to Subway Surfers. So let's say we're gonna go into Subway Surfers, as you can see, and I'm gonna show you what it does exactly. That way you guys can get a feeling for it and whatnot. So let's go into shop. Now, when you have it, where are we? We want to store. So you can go right here to the Vault's Coins. Now, when you're using it, you always want to press cancel. Don't press buy, or else, like, you'll just mess everything up. Now, as you see, it works completely for me, and that's just what I use for my free in-app purchases, because I'm also too cheap. Next up is Lockscreen Custom Text, which just allows you to put any text in your lock screen. So let's say we can do this, type Irish strafes, no respring is required. Now, as you see, let's just wait a second or two, and it will pop up, and bam, it works 100%. There's no problem with it and whatnot, so it's really nice. Next up is Mikoto, which I use just to disable my software updates. I also use a profile just in case that doesn't work. So I just use it to disable my in-app purchases, and we can go into general, and I will show you like what I mean. It completely removes, not in-app purchases, I was talking about software updates, but it completely removes the software update, which is in general, which is really useful. But it's not fully supported, so not all the features in Mikoto will work just yet. Next up is Palert, which I use a lot. Well, constantly, actually. And I only use it just because it makes everything look a lot more fresh and whatnot. Even if I wanted to, I could use wallpaper, which makes it look even more nice. I don't know why I'm not doing that, but it looks really darn nice, to be honest. Next up is PassButtonStyle, which I definitely would use just for the purpose of my passcode, because it just makes it have more of a sleek design, as you can see. It's really nice, just saying. Get that, definitely. Next up would be PowerTap, which I would constantly use. This is really useful, especially if you have to do some sort of respring or something. So you have the option to reboot, respring, and go into safe mode. Now, safe mode's definitely really nice in case you install like a bad tweak and it keeps screwing up your device and whatnot. But that's about all my tweaks, if I'm correct. So, anyways, I'm just gonna go into Cydia and scroll through my repos and all my tweaks just in case for you guys if you don't feel like going to the description or something. But yeah. So here are all my repos. You can just pause the video if there's any you need in here. So that's all my repos. And then we're just going to go into my installed tweaks. So yeah, there are some in here that I didn't mention, which was RunMario, which is how I play Super Mario Run on my jailbroken device, and also CCRecord, which I use to record all those Bullet Force videos that are on my channel right now. But yeah, that's what's on my jailbroken iPod. Stay tuned for more videos. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Stay tuned on my other social media just to like get in with giveaways and stuff. But I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.